go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know.
Let's talk about yourself, Alex. So,
that's a good subject, eh?
His favorite, his favorite subject. Semi-pro soccer, right?
Briefly, yeah, briefly.
Where did you play?
It was for a team called Vauxhall Motors back in the UK, but ravaged by injury the entire time. I've had hamstring injuries for as long as I can remember. So yeah, I played football since I was maybe about 11. Started out as a centre back and then gradually started moving up the pitch, because when I was a lot younger I was a lot taller, faster, bigger than everyone else, and then when everyone caught up to me I started to get crowded out and was like, okay, I need to move away from everyone else. So yeah, I played very briefly, and then yeah, I've had hamstring problems for a long time. I'm naturally quite a fast player, so I rely so much on my sprinting, and as a result of that I've just been it's just not been great. I've got another one now, so it's not ideal. So yeah, briefly.
Okay. What would be, so you are in pretty good shape all around the year, right?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Yeah.
What keeps you in shape? What is the secret?
Genetics. I think so. I mean, no, it's kind of been a blessing and a curse for me, because I was very thin. You know, I must have weighed maybe about, I'm trying to think, I might be about 60 kilos when I was a lot younger. Like, I was stick thin, not an inch of body fat. Maybe like I'm talking like 16, 17 before I started training.
60 kilos?
Yeah, I was very, maybe not that extreme, but like maybe 70. I don't know, I don't really know. Like, I didn't really weigh myself then, but I look at it was funny because I was showing colleagues in work the other day some photos of me from my teenage years, and
the Ibiza pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like when I was 18, I was very skinny, not an inch of fat on me, but obviously that meant it was very hard for me to develop any genuine growth. Yeah, it was a very arduous task for me to be able to do it. So I think it's been, in that regard, it's a blessing, because I naturally stay quite lean. My metabolism is very fast. Eventually that'll slow down at some stage, but I hope it doesn't. But yeah.
So modest.
So I think that's why I stay quite naturally lean, but it's been a very hard process for me to put weight on. I went up to about, I did like a bulking in October, November, and I was maybe about 6,000 to 7,000 calories, which for me is an insane amount.
That is nice.
And that I just kind of got a bit fluffy off that, didn't I? A little bit fat, but it helped me put on a lot more weight, and naturally I've come down a little bit.
So this last
couple of months, like I think I've been into such a myriad of sports. Like I used to run cross country, did a lot of sprinting. Yeah, so like I've played rugby, I've played football, I played a lot of squash, tennis, badminton. Like I played a lot of sports, and I used to like injury permitting, I would play sport every day. So I think from naturally having a lot of cardio from a very early age, I think that's put me in a good position to be in decent nick year round. I'd like to think anyway. Although it's catching up on me.
What would be so from being skinny to developing a body like yours, what would be the biggest?
I mean, everyone says it, only it's consistency. That's been the biggest thing that I brought to it, is like I was very sporadic. Yeah, I was very sporadic with my training. Sometimes I can be like a man of extremes. I can be like really like nailed on and focused for like 8 weeks, and then after 2 or 3 weeks I might not be as as motivated, and I might not have that drive. But now I found like a base level of consistent training, whereby even in those definitely, like for sure, he's given me that structure, and that's helped. And everyone will say consistency is key, but I can't preach that enough. That's been the biggest factor. Is that
so not just eat, but consistency?
No. I mean, like when it comes to nutrition, I very much, I'll be honest, I'm not the cleanest of eaters in the world, but I mean, I do what works for me. Like I know Colin Von Mogers said, he did a post about it last week where he was talking about posting all these In-N-Out burgers and saying like, oh, obviously when I'm competing, my nutrition adjusts differently, but I found what works for me. I found that little sweet spot, and I've tried to just maintain it. Like for now, there's no real goal or aim. It's just a lifestyle. Good. So because of that, it's just depending on how I feel, depending on what I want to go for.
Okay, cool.
I adjust it.
I think the other thing that really helps as well is compound lifting.
Definitely.
Just because the majority of your training is that, other than his bicep curls, but
I would say we probably do
It's a split, I think.
2 or 3 decent compound exercises per session.
okay.
And Alex is really, really strong.
Surprisingly.
That's why.
Yeah.
No, I've seen him at the gym. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
genuinely, like he keeps up with you.
you'd be what, 88 kilos at the moment?
Yeah, roughly 88.
I'd be confident of walking into the gym this afternoon and then pulling 240 comfortably.
For a deadlift.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's not a million miles away from 3 times body weight.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah. So yeah, he's really, really strong, and I think that kind of compound training added in with the kind of accessory work and the fine tuning, plus some good genetics and lots of
Burgers.
yeah.
Maybe not that bad.
You see that's where the progression comes from.
I'm big into like the reason why, like, we're talking about arms and stuff like that. The reason why I'm big into doing something like that is because I've tried to develop the Kai Green mind muscle connection, and that's why I've really enjoyed doing something like arms, because I find it the easiest thing to be able to focus on, because it's there. You're able to look at your bicep when you're doing it, and that's been it's like I've always described training as like a very sensual experience, because it's obviously your sight, you hear, you can hear like the collective hum of the gym and stuff like that, and it's like I've always seen it as this sadistic torture almost.
Yeah.
Because you're going in there to inflict pain on yourself, and you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the reason why I've enjoyed some of the more accessory works is because it's a real mental battle that you're having within yourself, which is why I have enjoyed the great mix of our training, where you've got those compound lifts where maybe I'm doing for 2 to 4 reps, but then the accessory work is where I'm going up to 10 to 15 to really try and test myself. So I've enjoyed that balance that we have. I guess it's power building in it is the term that people is the term that people use, but it's great because it keeps my body guessing all the time.
Very cool. Where would we see your future? Bodybuilding?
I don't really know.
Board shorts?
Board shorts, yeah. If I was ever to do it, I haven't got the legs for anything like that. Yeah, if we're talking about genetics, I've not been genetically blessed with decent legs. I honestly don't know. I keep flirting with the idea of doing a stage competition at some point. I think I would, again, like the whole list, because with work commitments and stuff like that, it's just really difficult to be able to balance it, and I don't know if I'd be able to keep that focus for such a long time.
I think it feels like one of those things that you probably tick off later in life.
Yeah.
When there's a bit more muscle maturity as well, and you feel a little bit more comfortable with who you are in it. There's a little bit like what I did with the strongman stuff last year. It's something that you really get a bug for. Competed, great day, training's excellent, really good community. But that was something that I was going to tick off once I'd finished playing rugby.
Yeah.
The midlife crisis just came a little bit soon. But yeah, I mean, there's a fair chance that I'll go back to doing that, but it's not where I'm at the moment. And I think it's the same for you on stage. I think as an athlete, Alex is phenomenal, and if his hamstrings hold up, then he should be playing a game, rather than standing on stage.
Yeah, I agree. Like I very much like I played rugby for a year because I was kind of just sick to death of getting. I've never been more injured than I am playing football. I broke my leg. I've had several injury problems with my ankle, my hamstring, quads, whatever it is. I've had so many injuries playing football. So I thought, I'll go and play rugby where I won't get so many injuries. But I took a break from it. It really gave me that appetite to get back into it. So I've been playing again this year. So I guess that's one of the biggest things that, like, if you're talking about future, one of the biggest things that I need to learn from a personal perspective is really like injury prevention. Like Fadl obviously from Wales, I rip him all the time about how much he does for his stretching routine before he trains, but there's a touch of envy from my from me because I need to be doing more of that stuff. I'd probably have 10 times less injuries if I was able to do more maintaining and more looking after my body in that sense. So it's we talked about doing yoga and things like that. I think that's the next level for me, is to be able to look after myself a bit more, because back when I was a lot younger I could absolutely hammer it and my body would be able to put up with it, and I think now there's been a natural degeneration, so I have to look after myself a bit more.
I think just to add to that, I think it's a little bit watch out with the whole 30-40 minute like mobility routines, because you could overstretch, and at the level you guys are at, like you guys are lifting some pretty heavy weight, and you know you don't want to lose tension in the muscle. I think that's where
it's the next step in the learning process for me, is injury prevention. The problem is that if I'm being completely honest, I've probably found it too boring. Which is why I've not really gone knee deep in it just yet. But it's something that I'm sick to death of being injured. I want to be able to play football on a consistent basis. So,
or at least spend some time on your hamstrings. You know, or your glutes and your lower back.
And there's imbalances in my legs all over the place. So it's something that needs addressing.
Board shorts it is.